welcoming you to a life of awareness. The Presence Project is excited for you to join us for today's podcast with your host, Paul Kerzner.
Hello and welcome to episode 2 of Are You Being Present? My name is Paul Kerzner. I want to welcome you to the here and now, to the present moment. I'm excited to have you here with me. Today's topic for podcast number 2 is mindfulness practices and building a baseline. I felt it was important to share about these two different pieces of information because they've had such a tremendous effect on my life, on my spirituality, and on my ability to be present. And I've seen others, patients that I've worked with, people that I know, develop and use these tools and have amazing effects on their lives as well. So I'm positive that if you decide to use and implement these tools, you will have the same results. My personal mindfulness practice is comprised of 3 items. The first of which is a piece of literature that I read every morning. It's titled The Greatest Secret in the World, and it was given to me years ago by a friend. And I read it. And the first time I read it, it resonated so deeply inside me. It just struck a chord, and it spoke to me, and it inspired me. And what it is about, it talks about being in a loving state of mind, a loving state of being, to love all that was, all that is, and all that ever will be. And I've been reading it every morning for years now, and I pretty much have it memorized. And it speaks to me. It gets me into the right state of being. And I read it before I even get out of bed, as soon as I wake up. And it's really an important part of my day. And I'd be more than happy to share it with you. I'd also suggest that you look through the internet, do some Google searching for inspirational pieces of literature, inspirational quotes, something that speaks to you, something that resonates with you, something that inspires you. So I will read this first thing in the morning before I get out of bed, and then I will go toward my second item, my second part of my mindfulness practice, which is using affirmations. I've been using affirmations for the past few years now, and I will tell you personally speaking that they are amazing. They have had a tremendous effect on my psyche. I've found them to be extremely effective at helping to reprogram old belief systems, old behavior, old patterns that need to change. And I will continue to use them because I found that they are so simple yet so effective. And lately, I've been using an exercise with my affirmations called the 555. And what this entails is that I will pick an affirmation, and the affirmation will be dependent upon whatever challenge or change that I want to affect in my life. And I will write that affirmation 55 times, and I will do this 5 days in a row. There's something magical about this program because I have seen firsthand that when I do this, when I am persistent and vigilant and complete the exercise, great changes happen very quickly. That's not to say that I only do a 555 for each affirmation. There are many times that I will be working with affirmations and I will need to do many 555s, depending upon the topic, depending upon the challenge. And so there's nothing to say that I can't get it done within the first 5 days, but there have been many 555s that I've done with the same affirmation because it's taken a little bit longer for that affirmation to really get in, to really sink in deeply. I would suggest that if you are committed, that the first thing you do is start looking for an affirmation that you feel would be helpful. There are tons of them on the internet, but if you're looking or you can't find one that really suits you, you can always reach out to me. I'd be more than happy to help you. You can reach me on the internet, on our Facebook group. You can private message me. You can send me an email, info@areyoubeinpresent.com, and I'd be more than happy to develop an affirmation. And the third component of my mindfulness practice is my morning meditation. I've been meditating now for a few years, probably 5 or 6 years, and I could tell you that hands down it has had an amazing effect on me, on my mind, body, and spirit. It is something that I recommend everyone do. I can tell you that when I first started meditating, it was hard for me to get through a few minutes. I became very frustrated because I felt like I should be doing more, that the meditation should be lasting longer. But the truth is that if you get 2 minutes in of meditation in the morning, that is better than 0 minutes. So don't be hard on yourself. Because there are some mornings that I'll only be able to get maybe 5 minutes in, maybe 10 minutes. And maybe I won't even be able to get them consistently. Sometimes I will come out of a meditation, my eyes will open up, I'll have to stand up, maybe I'll walk around for a minute, and then I'll sit back down and get back into it. And that's okay. I know some people really like guided meditations, and there are so many great guided meditations on YouTube. And some people prefer to just sit quietly. You have to figure out what resonates with you, what's going to be easiest for you, what's going to be most comfortable for you. But meditation is an amazing practice. It is something that everyone should be doing, whether you do it in the morning, afternoon, or evening. Please consider making it a part of your day. I am positive that it will have amazing effects. And so that's my mindfulness practice. And I've been at it for a while, and it's definitely evolved over the years, and will continue to evolve as I evolve. But it really has made being present a lot easier. And one of the reasons why it's made it a lot easier is because it builds a baseline. Building a baseline, especially first thing in the morning, is so important because the baseline is a state of being for you and for me. It's where we feel peaceful and calm and still. If you build your baseline in the morning, you'll always be able to slide right back to it throughout your day. And some days you'll have more challenges than others. Some days you'll be worried about the future. Some days you'll be thinking about the past. Whatever it is. If you build that baseline first thing in the morning, it'll become easier to slide right back. To slide right back into that state of being present. And so that is why it's so important to have a solid mindfulness practice. Because the baseline will become easier and easier to get back to. And so I encourage everyone here to consider building a mindfulness practice and establishing a baseline. It will make your life easier. You will be able to be present more often, and life will be fuller because you will be in the here and now. And at this time, I'd like to wrap things up. I want to thank you for joining us for podcast number 2. It is my hope that you will consider creating a mindfulness practice and incorporating that practice into your daily routine. Please join us on Facebook, www.areyoubeinpresent.com. And remember that this moment, this very moment, is the only thing that truly matters. So please make it the best moment you can.
Thank you for listening to the Are You Being Present podcast, brought to you by the Presence Project. Remember, you have a choice. Choose to be present.